important act that has brought us together. And for wasting most of the time, let me allow the convener to continue the program as we wait for the next program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Masengeli. Thank you. Now, Kenya has demonstrated its commitment to global disarmament and non-proliferation through our obligation under the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1540. So Kenya is a part of the international community that has agreed and is dealing with the issues of weapons of mass destruction by signing the Chemical Weapon Convention, the Biological Weapon Convention, and the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and many other conventions that deal with the issues of weapon of mass destruction. And as a country, we are a member of the European Union Cbrn, Center of Excellence for Risk Mitigation, which is a voluntary partnership that brings about 63 countries in the world to deal with it, to address issues of Cbrn risks. And Kenya is in the East African region, East and Central African region, which is based in Nairobi and headed by one of us, the James Kiter. The government chemist, where I'm domiciled, under the Ministry of Interior, is the national focal point for the European Union Center of Excellence. And through our initiative, we have been able to work through a multi-agency team and form what we call the Cbrn national team that has been working to address issues of Cbrn. And through it, we have been able to develop a national action plan to address issues of Cbrn. Today marks the end of the process of having the plan ready before we proceed to implement it. So today is a good day for the country. We have been able to have the plan ready for implementation. So the occasion today was to launch that plan so that we can go to the next step. Kenya has faced numerous and several incidents involving Cbrn materials, each underscoring potential risk such as to both people and the environment. One example is a road accident that happened somewhere along Naivasha Road, in which a truck transporting chemicals was involved in an accident with several vehicles, one of them involving our security officers, where we lost 33 people because of the chemical incident. Incidents such as this demonstrate the urgent need for strengthened national preparedness, demonstrate the urgent need for national preparedness, improved coordination among response agencies, and we are enhanced capacity to effectively manage Cbrn emergencies. Over the years, Kenya has made several significant progress building the capacity for its first responders to handle Cbrn-related incidents. Training initiative by both national programs and international partners, which have helped improve our coordination, reinforce our safety procedures, and enhance overall operation readiness. These efforts today will be highlighted through a live demonstration simulating an incident during which first responders will showcase practical skill in hazard identification, containment, and emergency management. The exercise illustrates how continuous training and collaboration continue to a more resilient national response system. So today, we have a team that will demonstrate to us live on how to address a chemical incident. And it will be led by our officers from the Responders Unit, the National Disaster Management Unit under the Kenya Police, and our officers from the Administration Police, officers from the National Disaster Operations Center, officers from the Government Chemist, officers from the Fire Brigade, Nairobi, and Kiambu County. And then there will also be officers from the the bomb disposal unit at the DCI. All of them will be working as a multi-agency to demonstrate how they can deal with an incident. So they will be able to showcase how they will address the issue, and one of them will explain to us as it progresses. Thank you. Bwana David McCann from the National Disaster Management Unit has prepared the scenario and is the one who will take us through the process. Thank you.
Our chief guest, Dr. Raymond Omolo, EBS, PS, Internal Security, Mr. William Musyoki, Cbrn National Focal Person, DIG Administration Police, Gilbert Masengele, all protocols observed. My name is Makan David. I work with the National Disaster Management Unit, and for this exercise, I was the writer of the exercise, and we are going to simulate a chemical incident of a truck that we have an accident within the Eastern Bypass near the Administration Police Service College. So we're going to start the program, and the way the program is, it is an incident whereby the information has gone to the command center, that is the IC3. After that information, that we have a vehicle that has an accident, then within the Eastern Bypass, whereby a tanker, the one that is in front of us, has involved in an accident. And obviously, as you know, the usual way, people tend to respond to take advantage of the incident, and you are going to see. So, welcome, sir, and you'll see the incident happening. I'll be demonstrating the way it is going to happen. Yes. As we wait there, sir, I can take you through the structure. In a hazmat response team, we usually have an incident structure. What you are seeing here is a hazmat incident command post. In the hazmat incident command post, we have the incident commander, and then we have the safety officer, and the work of the safety officer is to ensure that anybody who gets into a contaminated environment has been checked well, and they are ready for the response. Inside this setup, what you are seeing is that we have the entry. This entry is the entry to the zone where we've written hot zone, and within these entries we've demarcated them. We have the cold zone. The cold zone is where we are now. We are away from the contaminants. And then after that, we have the warm zone. After the warm zone, then we have the hot zone. The hot zone is where we have the contaminants. So the demonstration will be, we will have the casualties, and the casualties will come from the victims affected from the chemical incident, whereby they were stealing chlorine substance. Thank you, sir, and stand for the exercise. The agencies involved, we have the National Disaster Management Unit, we have the DCI, we have the Administration Police, we have the EMS, Emergency Medical Services, and then we have the DCI, that is the Bomb Disposal Unit. So the bus is ready, and already you will see the way the incident will unfold. And immediately you will see people taking advantage. And at the same time, we will have members of the public already on standby. They want to go and take advantage of getting the chemicals. Thank you. So, what we have is that we will have 3 critical casualties. One of them will be semi-conscious. The other one will be conscious because of the chlorine. The teams, the way they will align up here at the Incident Command Center is that the first people to be called in will be the police. And the police will do the cordoning off, and that is their work. After cordoning off, now they will hand over to the hazmat response team, which will comprise a multi-agency team. And within that multi-agency team, we will have the special teams comprises of the reconnaissance team. The work of the reconnaissance team is to ensure that they get us the direction of the wind. At the same time, they see if there is any coloration, and when they get that information, they report to the incident commander. The second team that will get in is the decon team. What you are seeing there is a decontamination station, whereby if anybody is involved in a chemical incident, they need to be washed. And then after being washed, they are tested. After being tested, they checked on if there is any presence of chemical incident, and if there is any presence of chemical incident, then they will go back. Thank you, sir, Stan, for the exercise. There was a bit of technical itch, but now the incident starts. That is the tanker that has been involved in accident. You'll see the way it will be. So as usual, you heard of 2024, we had an incident within Lironi, and we had the same case. The place where the counter is the hot zone. The person you are seeing at the back there is a member of the public because he has seen a vehicle has a problem. So he's taking advantage. He wants to get in so that he can get some content inside. So you will see what will happen. The driver is trying as much as possible to control. You see he's getting in. And then driver is trying to control and ensure that the place is okay. But as you understand, there are always rowdy members of the public. Now there is spillage, you're seeing there. There is spillage. And he's trying to ensure that he gets the content. Then there is a greenish substance getting off. That is the chlorine. And then there is another member of the public getting in. There is another member of the public getting in. He wants to take the advantage because of the spillage and the release of the chemicals. He's down. The members of the public also, now they are trying as much as possible to start routing. They want to go and get the chemicals. The first team accessing the scene is the local police, whereby now they are going to take information from the first responder, and then thereafter they will hand over to the second team. That is the National Police Service, and their work is just to cordon off. The substance is being released. Now they are getting briefs. So this is the National Police now getting into to control the crowd. Now the incident commander and the team from hazmat team is already. That is the incident commander. I've gotten the brief and he's going to get the men down and start the exercise. Now the police are trying to control, ensuring that they don't get into the hot zone. When they get into the hot zone, what will happen is that they will get contaminated. So the hazmat response team is already here, comprises of multi-agency team, and the multi-agency team is that they are going to respond. The person you are seeing with a yellow suit is the team from reconnaissance. Is getting the briefs. Those are team leaders getting the briefs. And the lady you are seeing here is the safety officer. Is going to ensure that everything is put in place in terms of the safety of the responders, the safety of the victims, and before anybody gets into the scene, they need to be checked, sir. So the person who is doing the inspection is ensuring that everybody is safe and ensuring that everything is done. That is an expert from bomb disposal unit. In any incident, sir, we need to clear out if there is any threats. So we will have the first person from the bomb disposal unit to clear the incident and ensure that it is safe for other responders to enter in. So the details are being taken, the time to enter, their names, and also when they are out, they will again get their details. So sir, what you're seeing is that he's going to clear the scene. That is the bomb disposal unit. He's the first person to access the scene. This is the team that is responding, and he's going to check everything, and after that he will give a signal of the scene is safe. The second team that is being inspected, that is the reconnaissance team. The reconnaissance team will help us in terms of ensuring that it gets us the demarcation, the warm zone, the cold zone, and the start of the hot zone. So currently, what you're seeing is that this is the reconnaissance team. They are using a gadget to ensure everything is done and to get to know where the concentration of the chemicals will be. So what they are using is SCBA, that is self-contained breathing apparatus, because they are going to very high concentrated environment and the chemical is already unknown. So they are doing the reconnaissance, and the bomb disposal is now clearing the vehicle so that the team can come and respond. So the reconnaissance team has reached the point of the 1 bar. Is signaling that that is where the concentration of the chemicals is high, and is now reporting to the incident commander. Now they have been given go-ahead to proceed, and already the decon team, the team is going there to prepare the shower and ensure that all teams that come from the contaminated environment are decontaminated. So we have a team leader already reporting to the incident commander that they are ready, and that team comprises of special units, whereby now everybody is going to be washed with a special solution, ensuring that everybody has been decontaminated. Sir, as you know, when we have such incident, we tend to have casualties, but we need to have proper procedures being done. So the second team coming in is the rescue team. They are checking because we have the casualties being reported. And the rescue team already have their tool of work. So they are going to help the recon to retrieve the casualties. Already the driver of the vehicle is being retrieved to the contamination area. As you see, they are using all the skills to move him from the hot zone. So you will see the procedures whereby the driver will be decontaminated, and then the rescue team is now accessing the scene. The rescue team, this is a special team to at least do something called primer sieve, that is just going to the scene because it is contaminated, pick the casualty, take him through the decontamination, and then thereafter they will be handed over to the medical team. I know the incident commander has the report. The medical team will be on standby to receive the casualties. So what you are seeing is now the decon shower. The decon shower, everybody has to undergo that process, whereby the decon commander has a radio and is going to communicate all the information on how the patient is being washed. So in this incident, we usually wash everyone. As you've seen, they are using solution. They are being washed. After the solution, they will be scrubbed. And the ambulance is already at the scene. They have received the information from the incident commander that they are going to receive the casualties. So they are on standby. So this team is a full-fledged. So the casualty is being washed. After being washed, you will see, sir, they will change the clothes. and then he will be given another new clothes. After that, once they ensure that he's free from contamination, then he will be handed over the medical. So the medical team is already on standby. The second casualty from the hot zone is being moved by the rescue team, ensuring that all the protocol and procedures are followed. So he's being detected if he has any other chemicals, and if he will be okay, then he will be handed over to the medical. So we have the second casualty already undergoing decontamination, and then we have a critical one. For the non-ambulatory, sir, I want you to see how the procedures are done, is that we have a stretcher and we have a roller, whereby this person is being washed thoroughly, ensuring that all the procedures are followed. So he's being washed, and then after that they will change the clothes. After changing the clothes, he will be handed over to the medical. Sir, another procedure that I want you to see is the driver. He has been detected and is not clean. Now he has been taken back again for decontamination, because we don't want to take chances to decontaminate our medical team and the people that are within the cold zone. So he has undergone another repeat, and is going to be washed thoroughly. So he's waiting for the procedures. He's waiting for the procedures. And then the second casualty is already there, has been washed, and then you will see is going to be detected. If there will be any presence of chemical agents, then what they will do is they will take him back again for decontamination. So the other team that you are seeing accessing the scene, this is the detection team. And the work of the detection team is to go to the scene. They are using special gadgets. The gadget you are seeing is AP4C for detecting of gaseous substances. So what happens is, once they detect, then they will give reporting of exactly what has happened there and what the chemical is. So the detection team comprises of a dirty man who has the detector, a clean man who is following, and a team leader, who is accessing the scene. Sir, what you are seeing is now the patient, the first patient is being handed over to the medical, the one that has a problem with the foreleg. So he's being handed over, and then we have another critical patient is now being handed over to the medical team. And you've seen the label there written triage. So the other thing is that the team that is carrying the patient, they are not going to cross over because they are still on their personal protective equipment. So it is now the work of the medical team ensuring that they don't get and access there. They are going to take the patients for further treatment. So, sir, they are going to change the stretcher procedurally because we don't want to take any chances. You're going to watch how they are going to do professionally. So they are going to use the rogue lore. Already they are suspecting the patient has a spine injury. So they have to take care of the patient carefully when they are handing over. So they are going to take a bit of procedures. And then the other step is the driver again is undergoing the procedure of decontamination because the detector showed that he is contaminated and is not fit to interact with the members of the public. So the second patient is being handed over again to the medical team. After that, we will have the walking patient also being handed over. So at the scene, the detection team is reporting of what they have detected, and at the same time the procedures detect that is supposed to mark. What you are seeing is they are marking. So where they have gotten the samples, they mark and they report to the incident commander. And the essence of detection is they will help the incident commander to come up the plan on how the sampling team, which is already on standby, to go and take the samples. Because these samples are supposed to be analyzed at the government chemist so that they identify the real chemical. Because only they have detected, but they want to go and do further analysis, which is done at the chemical government chemistry. The other team is that the patient has been changed the walking wounded. You see he's being given a different gown, but he's still coughing because of the effect of the chlorine. That is the driver. He was trying to at least to tell the members of the public not to access the scene. The members of the public, again, they have been controlled by the national police, that is administration police, and now they are calm. They are not causing a lot of chaos, but as you've seen, some of them are carrying jerry cans. That is the usual way. They were requesting and demanding to go and take advantage of the incident. So the second casualty, critical casualty, is being moved to the ambulance, and the ambulance is ready. So the first one is going to refer the ambulance to, they are going to refer the patient to the hospital. What you are seeing, sir, there is, because they have been washed, they need to prevent something called hypothermia. So they are using a thermal blanket so that we don't have a patient reaching to the patient and then they succumb. Sir, now the team that you are seeing decontaminating, those are the team that came from the rescue team. Now is being detected. You see the gentleman with the detector ensuring that everything is done, and if there will be any mistakes, then he is taken back for further decontamination. And then, sir, what will happen is that you will see there are procedures on how to remove these gowns, and the procedure, we call it doffing. But when you are putting on, we usually call it donning. So the procedures you'll see happening. Now the team that is going to access the scene, that are on standby, this is the sampling team. As you've seen, we have the team lead, who is having the radio leading the team, and then we have the dirty person, and then after the dirty person, we have the team leader. So these are teams that are going to take the samples, and the information from the incident commander is that they are going to take 2 samples, and again they will add the third one because it is chlorine, and the samples they are going to take is liquid sample, they are going to take the air sample, and they are going to take the solid sample, sir. So the team is ready, has been given go ahead. They are going to access the scene. So the team is well equipped and they have all the equipments to respond. So they are going to take the samples, and where they are going to take the samples is already marked. And when it is marked, that is the place they are going to take those samples from. So that's a very critical procedure, because if there was any criminality, then these are the people who will help us get the evidence. The first ambulance is now moving, taking the patient to the hospital, and also the second one. Now the procedure is, when they reach where the concentration is high, the team lead from the sample raises up hand and gives signal to the team that we are now approaching the hot zone. And then he takes a back seat, whereby now the dirty person who is going to take the sample takes the lead. Now, that's a very critical procedure, and you'll see how they are going to take the samples. Now they have reached where the point where they've marked, they have raised their hands. There is a nice procedure there in terms of how they are going to hand over the equipment, because they don't want to decontaminate. What is removing is a salvage sheet, whereby now the hard disk will be placed so that we don't decontaminate our items. So the procedures are, the dirty person, the person who is now approaching the incident scene, they are going to take the samples. He's already set for taking the samples. And the clean person is handing over the equipment as you are watching. But he's not going to touch the dirty person. There are procedures to be followed. He's dropping as you've seen. And then the dirty person is now taking the samples, because they have a special equipment. They are going to take the samples, that is, they are taking the solid samples. They are taking the solid samples. Now again they are closing it. Procedurally, when they close, then they put in a zip bag. In that zip bag, they need to put something called sample protocol. Within the sample protocol, the team leader has to fill which type of the sample, who took the sample, the time, and if there is any coloration of the sample, so that that sample will be taken for analysis. And they are going to take per sample 2 samples, the actual sample and the background sample, so that they can go and compare those samples. The samples are very important because it will help us in terms of pinning down if there is anybody that was involved in terms of criminality, and at the same time, it can help us, if it is a non-intentional, it can help us to analyze the type of the chemical that happened. So the procedure that you're seeing there is doping, and everybody who undergoes the doping, we have a team that is already reporting. This is the response team from the rescue. Is going to report to the incident commander. Before the incident commander is going to report to the safety officer, and the safety officer is going to indicate the time out because he had indicated the time in, and at the same time is going to check if he has any other problem, and then he will be handed over to the medical team. So he's okay now going to the incident commander and gives the brief of what they gotten from the scene. That is the incident commander getting the information, and then we have the medical team to ensure that he's okay. He's getting the briefs from the incident commander. He's being handed over to the team because he has undergone the procedure. The second team from the rescue is getting off the scene. And then they are going to report to the incident commander. And before that, he is going to report to the safety. The procedure of the scene is that every person who enters the scene has to be accounted for. And that is why we have the safety officer. And he's going to ensure that all the members at the end of the exercise, they are accounted for. Sir, what you're seeing is that all samples are supposed to be collected, but again, they need to take precaution so that they don't take long time and they become casualties. So the details are being taken for the 4th person from the rescue team, and the information from the sampling team to the incident commander is that now they are taking the air samples, and soon they will be out of the hot zone. So in this exercise, the incident commander is a very critical person because this is a multi-agency team. And within a multi-agency team, if you don't have a coordination mechanism, chances are very high that you will have confusion, and at the same time you will not meet objective of saving life. The person at the safety officer that was our bomb disposal expert is out safe, is giving the details, and you see the kind of multi-agency team that we have. So the sampling team, they are taking the last sample, whereby they are taking the air sample at the exact point where the incident occurs. And all the 3 samples will have at least 2 of each, the background sample and the actual sample. So the protocols are being filled by the team leader, and then they will put all the protocols within the zip bags. And these samples, they are going to be given to a team that is already standing here. The 2, a gentleman and a lady, they are called evidence management officers. These 2 ladies, a lady and a gentleman, are going to receive the samples, but they are not going to the hot zone. They will receive the samples at the point written triage, because that is a point where there is less decontamination. Sir, so this team are going to take the samples. Once they take the samples, they are going to document the samples. Once they document the samples, they will hand it over to the police, and the police will take this sample to the government chemist for further analysis and ensure that all details of the chemicals involved are analyzed and they give the exact information of what happened at the incident, sir. So the team that is undergoing is the last team that was from the reconnaissance team. So they're undergoing doping and they're undergoing checks and ensuring that they don't mingle to the members of the public when they are contaminated. The other team is that this is another team from Recon team. And the other thing that we need to know is that in this layout, we usually have the entry, we have the exit, and also we have the entry to the hot zone. The cones that you are seeing here, we call them directional cones. It helps the first responders to get to know how to access to the scene. So you're seeing they're lying down but giving direction, so that's the direction to the scene, and then you approach where the incident is. Sir, already the sampling team is out, and the person carrying the sample is the dirty person. We have a very important procedure there, whereby all equipments from the hot zone are dropped at a point called equipment drop point. Only what will come to be decontaminated is the sample. But what was used is dropped at the equipment point, whereby they will undergo further decontamination, sir. Our chief guest, another good procedure is that the sample has to be thoroughly cleaned and ensure all the protocol and procedures are followed. So when they start cleaning the sample first, and then thereafter they will start cleaning the person carrying the samples. And before the samples get out, then they need to be inspected and ensure that we don't decontaminate our labs. So you will see after that, the team will undergo detection. Now the decon commander is giving instructions on clear sampling procedures and washing, and also ensure that the safety procedures are considered. Now the dirty man is undergoing decontamination. That is the person who has done the sampling, and that sample has to be taken and ensure the safety of the samples is also guaranteed, because they can be sabotaged along the road. Sir, once the sample is out, they will inspect and then hand over to the evidence management officers. Already they are ready to receive the samples. Now the dirty man is getting out of the decontamination area, and then he will be inspected. He is now cleaning up, rinsing, because we have wash, and then the second step is to rinse to ensure that there are no any chances. So the second procedure is now they are going to detect if the sample is well cleaned. And the decon commander is very careful, ensuring that all procedures are followed. So that is the sample kit going to the detector. And then they are going to start with the sample. They are going to start with the sample. Already the incident commander has dispatched the evidence management officers, EMOC. And they are going to stand at the triage point. That is where they are going to stand, because that is the place where there is less contamination. Now they're inspecting. Now the sample is clean, and then is being directed to hand over the samples to the evidence management. And the evidence management now will come and register the sample. They are going to register the samples. Good. There is a line there that you are not supposed to cross. So they are just going to get the samples from that point so that we don't contaminate the process. Once they get the sample, they get information who took the sample, although the information is already within the sample protocol, and what types of samples they have collected, so that when they go to the incident commander, they have a full brief. Now they are exiting, and they are using the same exits. After that, the samples are going to be handed. These are also very critical procedure, because this is sample is supposed to be registered by the safety officer. It's going to be registered by the safety officer who took the sample, the time of the sample out, and also if there is any changes in terms of the samples itself. So the samples are being registered, and then thereafter will be handed over to the incident commander, and the incident commander will hand over to the police, and the police will take that sample to the government chemist for further analysis. So the Samples are being handed over to the incident commander. He also need to check. And at the same time, the police is on standby. They are going to receive the sample. The police has received the sample. Now they are going to take the samples to the further analysis at the government chemist. Sir, I think the procedure that is now remaining is just decontamination of the team that were from the decontamination area. And the procedures follows the same. And this will now mark the end of our exercise, because what will happen is that the last person, I must mention this, the last person to get out of the decontamination is the decon commander, because he ensures that everybody has been decontaminated and all procedures are done. And after that, he will report to the incident commander that the whole exercise is okay. The procedures are as it is, sir. Thank you very much, sir. The procedures will continue, and that is a fictitious exercise that I developed for this incident. And thank you for officially occasioning the response team and also the national action plan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, David McCann from the National Disaster for illustration. Now, as they wind up, I'll make a few remarks. So the Cbrn risks preparedness and response framework offers a comprehensive approach for to both deliberate and accidental threats, especially in the light of dual-use nature of Cbrn materials. I think we realize that Cbrn has most of the chemicals, biological, some of them have good use and bad use. That's why we call them dual use. These risks affect national security, public health, environment, and socioeconomic stability. Therefore, we are developing this national action plan to strengthen our resilience across prevention, detection, preparedness, response, and recovery. This national action plan was developed by a Cbrn national team under the guidance of our ministry and guided by the European Union Cbrn Center of Excellence. The plan reflects Kenya's expertise, Kenya's ownership, and strong political support. It draws on combined expertise in the ministries, departments, and agencies. It is supported by their international partners, the OPCW, the United Nations agencies, African Union, CDC, WHO, and many others. This national plan outlines clear structures for resource mobilization, capability development, and improvement of the legal institutional frameworks. It reinforces collaboration of the national, regional, and international levels. It is built on the 4 pillars of the one I've mentioned: prevention and mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. It emphasizes strongly on regulatory systems, institutional capacity, and interagency coordination. The key objectives of this plan, as the one which will be launched today, will remain strengthen governance and coordination at the national and county levels, enhance national capacity for detection, mitigation, response, and recovery, establish a national inventory and control system for Cbrn materials, promote awareness and communication on the Cbrn risks, improve infrastructure, specialized detection and containment capabilities, advance cooperation of capacity building and information sharing, strengthen our governance on strategic goods trade. On the way forward, we'll be requesting that the CBRN team be strengthened so that it can meet regularly and spearhead our implementation of this plan. Find a way of finalizing the issues of the CBRN response plan to be included in the National Disaster and Management Plan of the country. And stakeholders will receive a document so that they can use it as a reference document for implementation. And we continue to strengthen CBRN awareness in the country. So this one is an opportunity to strengthen our capability as a country and make people aware of issues of CBRN in this country. And I wish to thank the team as they exit and call upon the head of Secretariat for the East and Central African region of the European Union's CBRN Center of Excellence, Mr. James Giter, who is also the Director General of the Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority, to make his remarks.
To our Chief Guest, Principal Secretary, State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, Dr. Raymond Omolo, the Deputy Inspector General of Administration Police Service, Mr. Gilbert Masengeli, the National Focal Point for the CBRN in Kenya, Mr. William Munyoki, who is also the government chemist. I've also seen the CEO of Kenyatta National Hospital, Dr. Richard Lesiempe, our esteemed partners, European Union delegation in Kenya, represented here today by Mr. Ondrek Simek, our CBRN national team, representatives from various state agencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm deeply honored and delighted to address you this morning as we unveil Kenya's National CBRN Action Plan. Today's launch marks a key milestone and proves that our country now speaks with one coordinated, resolute voice on CBRN preparedness and response. To our chief guest, Dr. Raymond Omolo, your presence here today underscores the power of collective effort and shared responsibility in confronting CBRN threats and safeguarding our people and the environment. We are grateful for your steadfast support in strengthening the security of our republic. And it is very well pleasing, sir, that it's also an opportunity to have our national government administration officers witnessing this very important event today. The ambitious plan anchored in Article 238 of the Constitution and aligned with the National Disaster Risk Management Strategy is a product of the tireless work of our national focal point led by Mr. Munyoki and his dedicated national team, representatives of critical institutions in our country. As you have seen, I've witnessed today, the list is very long, and you can see their dedication. The launch may have taken longer than anticipated, but these additional months allowed for deeper reflection, refinement, and precision. For a document as critical as the National Action Plan, there is simply no room for mistake or second guessing. The incident commander has taken his time to take us through what was happening here, and a simple mistake can be disastrous. Contamination, as you can see, the way it is being done, it is so meticulous that we are all anticipating to ensure that we protect our people. Distinguished guests, this has been a long journey. Numerous consultations were held to build consensus on every key component. The final step, sir, was the validation forum on October 15 this year, which brought together minds from ministries, regulators, international partners, and civil society. That event affirmed harmony and ownership. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has been an active member of the EU Cbrn Centers of Excellence initiative, working across more than 28 countries in Africa and 63 worldwide to mitigate Cbrn risks. The National Action Plan will further strengthen our capabilities and deepen our contribution to regional security. As head of the EU Cbrn Center of Excellence Regional Secretariat for Eastern and Central Africa, I'm confident that this document will meaningfully enhance our readiness, not only in Kenya, but also across the region. And it is therefore essential that we regularly review our posture, assess emerging threats, and craft actionable strategies. This plan provides exactly that framework to address dynamic changes. Distinguished guests, we cannot afford complacency. In February, Kenya hosted the heads of Cbrn Center of Excellence Regional Secretariat meeting for the strategic meeting in Nairobi, where all the 8 regions in the world, representing the more than 63 countries, gathered here in Nairobi and developed an ambitious 2025 roadmap, where this National Action Plan that we are launching today is part of it. During that meeting, I highlighted the critical role of the Secretariat heads in strengthening engagement with national focal points. Success depends on collaboration on every level. Our regional secretariat is fully committed to supporting the implementation of this plan. Certainly, we must learn from every Cbrn-related incident and turn those lessons into stronger mitigation measures. This requires the sharing of best practices, genuine teamwork, and a multi-pronged approach that leaves no stakeholders behind. Only through collective effort, adaptability, and forward-looking strategies, we can achieve true preparedness and resilience. To Mr. Munyoki and his national team members, I say kudos. To our EU partners, thank you for your unwavering support and friendship. And to our Principal Secretary, Dr. Raymond Omolo, thank you once again, sir. And let us continue.
Do I use this or both? Okay.
PS for Internal Security and Public Administration, Raymond Omolo. Great to see you here today. Deputy Inspector General of Police, Gilbert Masengele. I hope we'll find a couple of minutes to speak after this event as well. Head of the Regional Secretariat, James Ketter. All you, members of the National Police of Kenya, experts, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here today. Only 3 weeks after we just held the 4th strategic dialogue between EU and Kenya on security and defense cooperation in Brussels, Belgium. This is a regular meeting where the European Union and Kenya discuss common points of interest in our cooperation in the areas like we see today. We discuss our cooperation on security matters here in Kenya, in the region, and also our global cooperation. So it's a great, I think, timing for me to be here today and to address you on this notable moment, the official endorsement and launch of Kenya's National Action Plan for Cbrn risk mitigation. On behalf of the European Union, I do want to extend warm congratulations to the government of Kenya and to all members of the Cbrn national team for reaching this milestone. Kenya was indeed among the first African countries to join the EU Cbrn Centers of Excellence initiative in 2012 and has also the distinguished role of hosting the regional secretariat for Eastern and Central Africa. Today's endorsement represents the culmination of more than a decade of collaborative work. The development process began already in 2014, underwent quite a significant review in 2021 following the COVID-19 pandemic, and has been refined through recent EU-supported efforts led by the National Focal Point and the Cbrn national team. The National Action Plan is much more than just a policy document. It is really a roadmap for protecting Kenyan citizens and strengthening national and regional security. Kenya faces unique Cbrn challenges as a gateway to East Africa, with the port of Mombasa serving as a critical entry point for goods destined throughout the region. The plan addresses comprehensive priorities across all domains. Chemical priorities include strengthening compliance with the Chemical Weapons Convention and managing obsolete chemical waste. Biological priorities focus on finalizing biosecurity legislation, enhancing surveillance mechanisms, and strengthening border controls. Radiological and nuclear priorities emphasize emergency preparedness, transport security, and enhanced detection capabilities. The cross-cutting Cbrn priorities, from awareness raising to capacity building for first responders, recognize that effective security requires a whole-of-society approach. Kenya's endorsement carries significance beyond Kenya's borders. You are now joining Malawi, Rwanda, Zambia, and Tanzania in formalizing comprehensive Cbrn action plans. As more countries in Eastern and Central Africa adopt such frameworks, the possibility of developing a regional action plan becomes increasingly realistic, strengthening risk mitigation across borders where threats do not respect national boundaries. Kenya's development of strategic trade control legislation, informed to a large extent by the EU Partner-to-Partner Export Control Program, represents leadership that can inspire regional progress. These efforts contribute directly to preventing non-state actors from acquiring Cbrn materials. The endorsement today is clearly not an end. It is a beginning. The plan will now be passed over to all relevant agencies for implementation through the national budget and with support from external partners. Me, on behalf of the European Union, I am very happy to reiterate our commitment to support Kenya in this journey. Implementation will require sustained coordination among the 20 agencies represented in your national team. The integration of the National Cbrn Emergency Response Plan into the National Disaster Management Bill represents the kind of institutional mainstreaming that will ensure sustainability. Let me conclude by expressing once again the European Union's congratulations for Kenya's leadership in Cbrn risk mitigation. To the National Focal Point, William Munyoke, the Cbrn national team members, and all technical experts from across government agencies, thank you for your commitment. Through cooperation and the comprehensive approach outlined in this National Action Plan, we can build a more secure future for Kenya and the entire Eastern and Central African region. The European Union is proud to stand with Kenya as a partner in this vital work. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ambassador, for those remarks. I request before we proceed, Bwana Masengeli, our DIG, has some remarks to make.
Not yet. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Chief guest, with your permission, sir, let me allow the CEO, Kenya National Hospital, just to give a remark then before I give my remark, please, sir.
Our chief guest, the Principal Secretary for Interior and National Administration, Dr. Raymond Omolo, the established protocol. On behalf of Kenyatta National Hospital, we wish to congratulate your State Department and the National Police, and with the support of the European Union, the launch of this very, very important, very phenomenal, and very, very critical strategy to safeguard our citizens in this country, particularly when it comes to chemicals issues. Honorable PS, I would like to confirm to you as Kenyatta National Hospital, we are part of this because at the end of the demonstration you saw here this morning, those patients will probably come to Kenyatta National Hospital. And therefore, we want to confirm to you that as a national teaching and referral hospital, with this strategy, we also want to see how best we can actually deploy some of these competencies and skills to probably to other national referral hospitals within our country, so that we can safeguard Kenyans. So with that, I want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate the National Police, and I want to say asanteni sana. I was here 1989 as a district officer, and therefore I'm also one of your officers. Asante sana, Bwana PS.
Thank you so much, Bwana CEO, and most welcome once again. Our chief guest, allow me to write on the protocols already established, and thank each and every member who is here for joining us in today's launch of the chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, the Cbrn National Action Plan. This is an important milestone for our country. It would be more dangerous that we live in the world where dangers can appear suddenly, whether from accident, natural outbreaks, or harmful intentions. We must always stay prepared as we plan to help others. It gives Kenya a clear way to prevent, detect, and respond any incident that would threaten the health and safety of the security measures, as it creates awareness to our people and our officers as well. To our officers and frontline responders, your role is vital. Your vigilance, your professionalism, and quick action will make all difference in keeping Kenyans safe. To our partners, we appreciate your continued support and contribution that helps build the safer Kenya and resilient nation for a safer world. As we launch, let us remember tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare it for today. Today, by taking the step, preparing Kenya for a safer tomorrow, let us forward work in unity as we look forward in ensuring we have a safer Kenya and a safer world. It's my now humble and singular opportunity to welcome the chief guest to give his remarks as we now wind up. So chief guest, welcome, sir.
be seated. Let's give the DIG a big round of applause. Okay, to the government chemist and the Cbrn national focal point for Kenya, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, who is also our host, together with the Commandant of the College, the CEO, Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority, the Deputy Head of Mission, European Union Delegation to Kenya, colleagues from the Ministry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, let me ask all of us once again to give a big round of applause to the team that has taken us through the drill on how to deal with the emergency that has happened here. We really applaud and appreciate all of you, because for a number of us, you've opened our eyes to certain things that we probably watch on TV. And for me, this is a step in the right direction as we get ready to prepare to deal with such emergencies. And I must commend the team with the leadership of the National Disaster Unit for consolidating this, and all the agencies and institutions that have been involved. The city, county of Nairobi, the various hospitals, the national police, the public, together with the national government administration officers, who are also some of the first responders together with the police. And I'm glad that today we have a cohort of our national government administration officers, the chiefs and assistant chiefs, who are on another program, but have also joined to see what to expect or what happens when we have such incidences. So we are gathered here today to mark the official launch of Kenya's chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear national action plan, something that not many Kenyans may be familiar with. These are threats that are often invisible until it's too late, yet their potential impact on lives, livelihoods, and the national security is enormous. From chemical spills to biological pathogens, radiological leaks to nuclear hazards, Cbrn risks demand our attention, preparation, and action. And it's my honor to welcome you to this milestone event today. Allow me to first start by extending a heartfelt appreciation to the EU Cbrn Risk Mitigation Center of Excellence and the Kenya Cbrn National Team for their unwavering support and collaboration in developing this plan. And may I also take this opportunity to make a special mention to the Spanish government. The delegation is here. We've worked together on a number of these programs. We really, really appreciate you. Credit to you today. We are celebrating not just a document, but a demonstration of Kenya's commitment to preparedness, resilience, and public safety. Kenya remains firmly committed to its international obligations, key among them the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1540, which focuses on non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and the full implementation of the Chemical Weapons Convention, the Biological Weapons Convention, and the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Kenya does not possess, produce, or host chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons, nor will we support non-state actors seeking to acquire or use such weapons. Yet, as the global security landscape changes, threats are not always foreign or intentional. Accidents happen, materials can be misused. Science and technology evolve rapidly, and dual-use substances used for legitimate purposes, but with potential for harm, demand a rigorous oversight from all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, history offers practical lessons here at home. We remember vividly the events of 1998 on the twin bombings of the US Embassy in Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, where chemicals were deliberately misused to prepare improvised explosive devices. We also recall the 2016 arrest of 3 suspected extremists who were planning a major biological attack using anthrax. The Embakasi gas plant explosion, which was most recent in 2025, and even the most current one, which is the Kenya Airways flight that was forced to return to Nairobi due to a suspected leak of hazardous biological material. And we all know what happened with the COVID pandemic outbreak, which also integrates global best practices with Kenya's unique context. It positions our country to be able to anticipate, prevent, and respond swiftly should emergencies arise. This launch today marks our commitment to readiness, resilience, and the protection of all. I would want to encourage all of us here present and those who are following that we commit to empowering our citizens, ensuring that they have the right information, and advancing national conversations on safety, security, and public information. And during the drill, you saw how the public views accidents. At times, there are people who want to take advantage to see what they can pick out of it. And this even complicates our emergency response and preparedness. And therefore, it speaks to the need for a lot of public awareness. And I'm sure as part of this action plan that we are launching today, we will go out of our way to constantly inform the public, not just on the risks, but also on the steps that needs to be taken when those accidents occur, and also to mitigate or to prepare to avoid having some of these weapons fall in the wrong hands. As a government, we are working closely with the legislature to be able to pass relevant laws. There is the Strategic Goods Control Bill, which is at an advanced stage in terms of its passage. It will regulate how certain strategic goods are managed, and also to avoid the situation where there could be misuse. And it also speaks to the dual-use items. So finally, I would want to once again appreciate our partners, the European Union, all the agencies, both in the public and private sector, who have made it possible for us to get to this point. And we are looking forward to much more deeper partnership and engagements as we roll out the action plan that we are launching today. And therefore, it's my privilege and honor to officially launch the Kenya's Cbrn National Action Plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Secretary. You can do better. Better clause of. Now, it's my pleasure and honor again to invite our Principal Secretary, the Deputy Inspector General, Deputy Ambassador, and James Kiter, and the CEO Kenyatta National Hospital, to come and officially launch the document. The rest you can wait.
So thank you. Now we go to the next step, where we'll now officially